Good morning. My name is Catherine Olea. I'm the Assistant Director of Career Development here at Concordia University, Irvine, and I'm here to talk to you about what can you do with your major. Many people come into undergraduate undeclared, or they're not sure exactly what they can do with their major. Maybe they think grad school is the only option, but I'm here to tell you that there's many different options that you can do with each specific major here at Concordia University. So before we begin with this presentation, I have two requests of you. I'm going to ask you these two templates here on one post-it note or on a sheet of paper. If you could write down what do you want to do with your major, and then on a second post-it note or a separate sheet of paper, if you could write what are you most excited or anxious about when thinking about your future career. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead to this next slide. And I'm just going to go ahead and introduce myself and our team. I work for the Center for Career and Vocation at Concordia University, Irvine. Like I said before, my name is Catherine Olea. I'm the Assistant Director of Career Development. I work alongside Mariah Lucas, who is the Director of Career Development and Vocation. Our jobs are to essentially help you successfully launch post-graduation, whether that means you're working full-time, you're enrolled in grad school, you're volunteering full-time, or you've chosen to enlist in the military. We just want to help you reach those goals and enter the workforce feeling confident and ready for success. A few ways we do that is by one-on-one appointments. We try to meet you where you're at, whether it's career exploration, resume review, or mock interviews. There's many different steps in the career process. This webinar is based off of the early stages of career development, which is major and career exploration. So we do have workshops that we're prepared to work through those questions with you. We also do resume and LinkedIn reviews. If you bring in a printed resume or want us to take a look at your LinkedIn, we'd be more than happy to do that for you as well. We also provide professional headshots. We have a professional camera on site, and if you make an appointment with us, we can walk around campus, try to find a space on campus that has a nice background for you to create those professional headshots. Professional headshots are from their shoulders up. We also provide internship research. We utilize a platform called Handshake where we post many of our internship opportunities, but we're also prepared to help you look on other sites, and we're going to show you the best, like the tips and tricks for how to find the correct internship for you. We can also help you with interview prep. So like I mentioned before, we can do mock interviews, have you come in prepared for essentially an interview, and then we can provide you on the spot feedback for what you should be working on and how to help you feel more confident going into interviews. We have a career closet. We host it once a semester, but we also just have it ongoing. If you ever were to come to us and ask us for support with clothing for upcoming interviews, we'd be more than happy to pull everything out for you. But our career closet is essentially clothes that have been donated by students and staff and faculty members that would be deemed professional for interviews for college students. These clothes would be yours to take. We would not ask that you return them or anything. They would just be yours for the keeping. We also provide hiring expos. So oftentimes we invite employers onto campus that they're looking for students to hire. It could be for internships, it could be for full-time positions, it could be for summer jobs. We have a camp and ministry fair coming up pretty soon here. But all of these hiring expos are designed with the students in mind. We want to help you network and get your foot in the door at many of these places. So what I'll be talking to you about today is academic planning versus career planning. There is a slight difference, and in order to become career ready, which is another talking point of mine, you will need to combine the two. And then lastly, I'll sum everything up with what can I do with this major. It's something that Concordia offers you for free. It's located on our Concordia website. So first I wanted to start off with Colossians 3. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You're serving the Lord Christ. What I mean to say here is there's no wrong choice in major. There's no wrong choice in career planning. However you choose to serve yourself, as long as you're going into your vocation and what you're called to do, you will be serving the Lord in some way, shape, or form. We need all sorts of jobs in order to keep moving forward as a society. So I just want to impose upon you that there is no wrong choice of career. So moving on, we're going to be discussing your your education. So Your education you will be completing in approximately 4 years. That's the average here at Concordia University. In that time, you will be declaring a major. You'll also need to complete all the requirements of your major in order to graduate. In doing so, you'll likely be connecting with your professors, and to graduate, you also need to maintain your GPA. This all falls under your academics, and in order to become career ready, you'll need to do this on top of a couple other things. So according to NACE, there are 8 major competencies or in career readiness that you'll need to kind of just get an understanding of and be working towards as an undergraduate student. I've listed the 6 major ones here. The first one is written and verbal communication. This is the ability to clearly exchange information, ideas, and perspectives with people inside or outside of your organization. I know that these competencies may seem a little bit overwhelming and they may seem a little bit like they're not falling into your coursework. However, many times they can. So, like I just said, written and verbal communication, this can be the form of communicating with your professors if you're needing to be out of class for a day. You'll also need to be doing that with your managerial staff when you're eventually in a working environment. So, working on your verbal communication, it could be via email, it could be whether you're working in a team project, communicating with your peers. As long as you're working on these communication skills, you are working towards the NACE competencies. Leadership is another one. So recognize and capitalize on personal and team strengths to achieve organizational goals. Many of us have participated in group projects and classes, and if you haven't yet, you will down the road. But to show leadership skills, you may need to recognize when it's time for you to jump on something or when it's time for I want to say coworker, but when it's time for another colleague of yours to jump in on something when you're working as a team. Professionalism, the ability to understand that work environments differ greatly, demonstrate effective work habits, and act in the interest of the larger community or workplace. A common one that students may think of when they think of professionalism is dressing up for presentations. It's very important that you're understanding the environment you're in. For example, in my workplace, if I knew that somebody that was higher up than me was going to be in the office on the same day that I'm going to be there, I may try to dress a little bit more professional that day versus a day where I know that there's not going to be many people coming to see me. You just have to understand that many work environments differ just like many different professors may require different things from you. If you're giving a presentation, it's best to show up and be ready for your outfit to also be graded as if a professor that wasn't going to do that. Critical thinking. Identify and respond to needs based upon an understanding of situational context and logical analysis of relevant information. Are you able to synthesize all of your homework assignments that you're reading and then go back to class the next day and take a test on it? Take your midterms, take your finals. That's critical thinking. That's the ability to respond to the needs of your test based off of all of your previous information that you've taken in and understood throughout the semester. Teamwork. Build collaborative relationships to work effectively toward common goals. Appreciate diverse viewpoints and shared responsibilities. Like I mentioned with leadership and teamwork somewhat go hand in hand. Leadership is the ability to encourage yourself and encourage others to keep moving forward. Teamwork is working collaboratively. Are you able to split up the assignment and then come together and cohesively explain it to the class or explain it to your professor? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Demonstrate the awareness, knowledge, and skills required to equitably engage and include people from different backgrounds. Engage in anti-oppressive practices that actively change the systems, structures, and policies of racism or inequality. This might be a difficult one for students to understand that they are working towards this in their classes. Are you working to understand the different perspectives that professors may offer you? Or are you working to understand different perspectives that students may throw out in class? I see this come up a lot in psychology courses, but it can also come up in engineering courses or biology courses. You just want to be aware that there are different perspectives and there are people that are coming from different backgrounds than yourself. And that awareness is a big step going in the right direction. So like I mentioned in the previous slide, here are just a couple examples of how your academic education can fit in with your career education. So producing written and oral works that effectively express ideas, that's written papers, answering prompts, that's written and verbal communication. Use quantitative and qualitative reasoning in decision making. That's leadership. Dressing appropriately, like I mentioned before, that's professionalism. Apply concepts and methodologies to address significant questions is critical thinking. Working collaboratively to meet a common goal is teamwork, and communicating in a foreign language is also another form of diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you put all this together, you have career readiness. So as you're in during your academic time, you don't want to just solely be focusing on your academics. Working on these career competencies is a way of getting you career ready. So career readiness is essentially updating or creating a concise resume that will highlight your relevant responsibilities and achievements. This includes any relevant courses you've been taking. Are you participating in clubs and activities that are relating to your major? Do you have a part-time job? Are you working on campus, off campus? Are you volunteering? All of these things will go into updating your resume. And not only that, but are you networking with professors and alumni within your major or your field of interest? They may be your letters of rec down the road, and they may be the people that you put down on your applications to jobs after you graduate that will speak highly of you and your career competencies and your soft skills as well as your hard skills. So where do you start? Career exploration begins with major exploration. There are two schools of thought that come to how are you going to decide what to do when you are ready to start your career. Many people start with their major. They know that they like a specific subject and they want to study it. So they go into the major and then they're not sure what to do from there. Many people go into college knowing exactly what they want to do, but they have trouble trying to figure out what major it is that will help them get to where they want to get. So Concordia offers What Can I Do with This Major? It's an interactive site where each major will show you potential opportunities for your career, as well as possible employers, some strategies, and then research links as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go there. So from Concordia University, Irvine, you can go to the Center for Career and Vocation. You can also type What Can I Do with This Major in the search bar. But from there, you'll scroll down here to What Can I Do with This Major? And from there, it'll show you how you can use this resource. I'm going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of a common one that people tend to think is only specific for this major. So let's look at art. Many people will go into art because they're creative, they want to become artists down the road, but let's look at other things that we can do with an art major. So like it says here, art is a study and practice of creative expression. It's an interdisciplinary field of study. It combines instruction in historic and contemporary art, technical skills, critical thinking, application to creative work. So common career paths is art direction, administration, and it lists you all of the common career paths. This is going to be the same for every major you look into. It also will tell you few employers, so art museums, working at universities, public or private, archives, historical societies. These are all places that potential employers that you would be able to look into. Some strategies for getting ahead in the job market would be gaining relevant experience through internships or volunteer positions. So like I mentioned in our slides, it was doing more than just your schoolwork and just getting your degree. You want to make sure that you're getting involved on and off campus and other forms that were related or pertaining to your major. Supplement curriculum with courses in history. Most art historians will specialize in a period or region. Plan to earn a graduate degree in art school. So this is telling you up front that you may want to go to a grad school. So in looking at what it is you'd like to do, make sure that you're filling in your academic advisors and letting them know that graduate school might be in the cards for you. You can come talk to career services and we can help plan for how to get you there because we can help with your making sure that you're on the right track, taking the correct courses, everything that you'll need to get into grad school. So it also shows you the different areas that you can go into. So I majored in art. I want to go into media. What does that look like? I can go into journalism, art direction, sales, programming, video illustration, animation, storyboard. All of these are common career paths if I'm interested in going into media with art. And it'll also tell me a couple employers and specific strategies. And this is going to be for every single one of these that it lists. Education is an art major. It'll tell me my common career paths, employers, and again, some strategies. Another common major that students come with is psychology. Psychology is a very broad major and can be used for a number of things. For example, I was a behavioral science major here at Concordia University, and with my major, I was able to go into administrative work, HR, and marketing, and now I'm working in higher education. Psychology was broad enough that it provided me with the foundation to take all of the skills I learned in undergrad, and then while I was also working on my soft skills, I can now apply it to many different industries. So this first one listed is human services. These are a couple common career paths, same thing with employers, and some strategies in order to do so. If I didn't want to go into human services, I can look at business and industry. So, like I said, I was able to go into marketing with a psychology major. Employers that are here, service providers, wholesalers, manufacturers, retail stores, all of these are it's a different path than what the typical person would think a psychology major would do, but this is also showing that you don't always need to get an advanced degree to get started in the workplace. So psychology provides a broad liberal arts background, like I mentioned before. Here's some examples if you want to pursue your master's degree. There's a couple things you should do. If you want to be an educational specialist, a doctoral degree. For those wishing to pursue graduate education, you must maintain a high GPA. That's going to be the same for any other major that you're looking into as well. But if you keep scrolling down, you can see professional associations that are associated with psychology. Same thing with occupational outlook, employment opportunities, and related resources. These are also some great resources if if you're graduating pretty soon. You can look at, I'm wondering, what is a human resource specialist? Like, what does it look like? Or what are some professional associations I can sign up for now as a student? Um, yeah, so from there, we'll just go ahead and keep going with my presentation. I hope that you have some time to explore that with your own major or any major that you're looking into. So now we're coming to a close. We're coming up on the end of our presentation here. So I want you to go ahead and revisit those questions. What do you think you want to do with your major? Did the presentation help open you up to different opportunities? Did it kind of help narrow in on what it is that you'd like to do? Do you think you're in the wrong major? Do you think you're in the right major? These are all good questions to bring up if you're having an academic advisor appointment anytime soon, or if you'd like to come and stop by the Career Studio, we can also help you answer those questions. Then the second question, what are you most excited or anxious about when thinking about your future career? I hope that this presentation was able to help settle a couple of those anxieties that you may have had. And if not, maybe make you a little bit more excited for the possibilities of what you can do with your major. So a couple key takeaways I'd like you to walk away with today is pursuing your education is only a part of career readiness. It is very important. It is the reason you're here is to get your college degree. But I just want to emphasize that that's not the entire reason you're here at college. I encourage you to participate in clubs and activities relating to your major. These things will only help build up your career competencies and they'll help build up your confidence in making sure that you feel prepared entering the workforce. Explore your major and career with outcomes associated with it. So utilize this resource I just showed you. What can I do with my major? There's also other resources available through the Career Studio that we'd be more than happy to share with you. And they'll help you explore potential career opportunities. I also highly encourage you to visit the Career Studio. We're on top of the library and we'll help you discuss your career goals. You can also make an appointment with us via handshake. My availability as well as Mariah's availability is available up there. So we can make appointments to talk about career readiness if you're ready to have your resume reviewed. Any step along the career journey, we're just here to support. So if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email. However, the quickest way to get a hold of us is by scheduling an appointment through Handshake. You would simply log into Handshake, click Career Center, and then click Appointments. From there, it's all student-led. So however you wish to make the appointment with us, feel free to just stop in, but Handshake would be the best way to get a hold of us. Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you soon.